Alright, man. It's here. This ain't gonna be no 3-minute video right here. Georgia versus Notre Dame. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, January 1st. And this game could go over either way. I mean, Georgia been inconsistent. But I will say this, though. Notre Dame been getting a lot of hype for no reason. Literally, they ain't played nobody nowhere near Georgia level. Like, yes, I know one game, you can play your best, and the other team can play their worst. And Notre Dame could very well beat Georgia 33-13. Yes, it could happen. I mean, there's a scenario that happens. I mean, when Georgia can't do nothing, and they fumble the ball, like they've been doing the whole year. You know, Nate Frazier's been fumbling, and the wide receivers, they fumble the ball. They can very well fumble the ball, have 3 turnovers, fumbling the ball. I mean, could very well have some horrible missed tackles that results in big runs. You know, Garner Stockton could very well, you know what I'm saying, miss all over himself and go 12 for 32 and throw 3 interceptions and 2 of those being pick sixes. Yes, that all can happen. And if it was in the regular season, that probably would happen. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm a Georgia fan. You know, I rock a G, but I'm realistic. And y'all can check my resume, and I've been accurate on this. Like, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I was a high cloud dude, you know what I'm saying, getting a lot of views, man, my resume would be uphill. But I'm not. But it's okay, though. I love talking football, so it's cool. You know what I'm saying? You know? But we can't sit here and act like this Notre Dame team ain't played nobody all year. Yes, I know Georgia been inconsistent. Yes, I know Georgia got 2 losses, and they lost double digits to Ole Miss. But guess what? Both of those games was on the road at Alabama, which I had Alabama going 8-4. Anyway, they went 9-3. I didn't think they would beat Georgia, but they did. You know, Georgia played a horrible game. It was a game like 28-3. You know, Georgia came back, and Ryan Williams made a tackle play. And Georgia still had a chance to win. You know, it is what it is. Ole Miss game, it was raining, and Georgia got killed. I mean, I ain't gonna make no excuse about no injuries, because they had injuries too. You know, Trey Harris didn't even play in that game. It's just Georgia had 3 turnovers. You know, they had 3 fumbles. 2 of them is in the red zone. You know, and Ole Miss just took advantage of the crowd. You know, and mostly the D line. Ole Miss D line just, you know. Ernest Green got killed by Princely Umani, whatever his name is, the Florida transfer. I mean, he gave up like 3 sacks and like 4 pressures. So Ole Miss D-line took over that game. You know, offense did good. You know, killing Georgia on the inside. You know, they gave up a 3rd and 24 or something like that. I thought, you know, I don't want to talk about that game. But yes, I know Georgia can very well lose this game. And they showed and had moments of them being inconsistent, like the Kentucky game. But at the same time, the way y'all look at it, and I've been holding this in, I should have been released this video so I could have got more comments and more views. But maybe, you know what I'm saying, y'all can send this out. If you're a Notre Dame fan, you see this video, you can talk junk to me. You're a Georgia fan, you can send it out to your Georgia friend. But, and I don't care, I've been all on Instagram talking junk, all on YouTube talking junk. And I got a few bets with Notre Dame fans. But this game reminds me so much of the Michigan game. Michigan versus Georgia game. You know, the Orange Bowl with Georgia, they got smacked by Alabama, you know, in the SEC championship game. And all the Michigan fans was getting all, you know, they beat Ohio State by double digits after all the years. They swore this Michigan team was way much better than Georgia. Oh, because Michigan had the better stats. Michigan had you know, they had Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum and Hussein Haskins, you know, all them dudes, you know, it was like, oh man, we got the best. Georgia ain't never seen a Joe Moore Award winning O-line. That's the best O-line Georgia will face all year. Michigan gonna do the same thing that Georgia like they did at Ohio State. They gonna average 4 or 5 yards a carry. And I'm like, y'all thought Cade Macaroni was gonna beat Georgia, this Georgia team, and that could have been worse because Georgia lost Adam Anderson. Georgia lost Adam Anderson, who's gonna be a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying? And either way, like that's the vibes I'm getting. With Notre Dame getting all this hype for beating service academies and nobody. Literally, they hardest game was Texas A&M and Louisville. And Texas A&M, they first year head coach, you know what I'm saying, trying to piece their stuff together. Louisville, solid team. Louisville went on the road to Clemson and smacked them. But Louisville not Georgia. Definitely in a game like this, like if this was a regular season game, I would be nervous. Like definitely, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, definitely if we knew how Georgia been playing, then let's say, you know, somehow Notre Dame played Georgia 6 game. I don't know. We know out of conference, so you know either way. But they not. This is a playoff game in New Orleans, coming down south. You know, Travis Etienne from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? And this is a game. Like think about it. Georgia, we're gonna start them. Look how the offense opened up. And I've been saying this all year. Like Georgia offense had a lot of drops, but it left so much on the table with Carson Beck because he refused to run the ball. So many times he could have had a first down and opened up the run game, but he didn't never keep it. In his own reads, he always gave it to the running back for 2 yards, 2 or 3 yards. You know, he could have just kept it and maybe got 4 or 5 or 6 yards. And the defensive ends couldn't just automatically crash down or the linebackers. And the Tennessee game, you see how Georgia run offense opened up. Because that's the first game really where we seen Carson Beck just play with fire. What is that Tennessee game? When he had a night, Georgia was home, you know what I'm saying? And that was like the game where everybody was like, if Georgia lose, they gonna be out of playoffs. And Georgia came out slow. You know, Tennessee went up with 14-0, I think. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, man, like what's going on? It was something like that. It was like 14. Tennessee went up 14-3, or I can't remember. Either way, Tennessee started off to a fast start, and it didn't look good. Then Georgia got rolling, and it was a rout. But either way, we're gonna start the guy in versus Texas. I mean, in that interception, he tried to throw it out of bounds. You know, he just didn't put enough on it. But look how the running lanes opened up. The Georgia offensive line was moving Texas. Like, literally, Georgia running backs was getting 4 yards without even getting touched by every 2 to 3 runs. Like, literally, with Carson Beck, there was average like 3 yards a carry, 2.5 yards a carry. When Gunnar Stockton came in the game, Georgia offense was averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Almost 5 yards a carry. I'm just saying. And Travis Etienne, now he got healthy. Like now, he going back to his home state, Louisiana, without a rib injury now. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, and the way Notre Dame linebackers play and safeties, they have aggressive defense. You know, Riley Mills not playing. You know, he is a future top 50 pick. You know, pre-injury, before the injury, I don't know where he gonna fall to now. You know, maybe he don't fall that low. But dude is a good defensive tackle. You know, 5th-year senior, started like 67 games or something like that. Good player. He's not playing. And now you got Tate Radish and all these old linemen. And the way Notre Dame defense play, like they've been able to play like that. It is aggressive. Like they react. They attack before they react. You know, I mean, like they attack, they react, then read. You know what I'm saying? Like most teams, Reed didn't react, but they react. They didn't read, and by then it's too late. But the teams they've been playing has allowed them to play like that. Like literally, we go down at Notre Dame schedule, and I stand on this. Georgia would be 12-0 with Notre Dame schedule. Notre Dame would be at best 8-4, and Notre Dame's been telling me I'm delusional and all this. Now think about it. And I don't know football. I'm just talking. 5th Clemson, first game. That's a 50-50 game in Atlanta. Okay, at Kentucky night game, Notre Dame probably win that game. At Alabama, that's a loss. At Ole Miss, loss. At Texas, loss. That's 3 losses right there. Not including Clemson, Tennessee. Florida's a solid team. You don't know where Florida gonna come show up. At Kentucky. Then Texas again in the conference championship, which Notre Dame do not play in. Like, come on, man. Georgia had a top 10 schedule. Notre Dame's schedule is like 57. Like, yes, you can look good versus Army, Navy, a 2-10 Florida State, who everybody except California had their way with. A 1-11 Purdue, who everybody had their way with, except for an SCS team. Virginia, who is 5-7? I think Virginia went 7-5, something like that. 5-7, Virginia. Texas A&M, first game, whatever. Miami of Ohio. You played Stanford. Stanford didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Army, Navy. Okay. So Notre Dame's stats is heavily inflated. Then you did with Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in the playoff. Indiana is basically Boise State, and Indiana's behind Arizona State, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Arizona State is a better team than Indiana. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people talking about, stats. But it's easy to have good stats when you playing nobody, and you can have your way with every team you played on your schedule. Like, you can be aggressive, and look good and force a lot of turnovers when you're more talented, and then the teams you playing is the bottom of the barrel teams. Like, come on. Like, literally, Florida State went 2-10. And I know it's not Notre Dame's fault because the other teams were sorry. But you're going to find out when you play a real team, a team that you're not more talented than. You're going to find out. And I'm getting the Michigan versus Georgia vibes, which I ain't going to say the score going to be 34-13 or whatever. But I think Georgia's just going to be more better. And Riley Leonard, a solid quarterback. And y'all talk about, Georgia Tech, this, Georgia Tech. Haynes King didn't play versus Georgia Tech. I'm not saying Georgia Tech would have won the game. But Haynes King at quarterback is different than the quarterback they had, Zach Powell, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying? So, Notre Dame fans going to find out the hard way. There's levels to this. Just like Indiana had to find out versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame is Indiana to Georgia. What Indiana is Notre Dame. Notre Dame is to Georgia. So, the one shark eat the other. Then you got a bigger shark coming. Georgia is the bigger shark. And Notre Dame fans finna find out. Yes, y'all had a good year playing nobody. Congrats, you made the playoffs. You didn't choke. You won the playoff game at home. But now you coming down south to a bigger monster, a bigger beast. And yes, you can say Georgia ain't got no quarterback. But, Riley Leonard isn't a surefire first-round talent quarterback either. No, he probably would go in the third round. Unless he just have a horrible game versus Georgia. But he's a third or fourth round quarterback. He's a good backup quarterback to have for NFL roster because with his running ability and toughness. But it's levels to this, man. And I'll be talking about, oh, Xavier Watts this, Xavier Watts that. Georgia ain't played Xavier Watts. Georgia plays an All-American just about every game. An All-SEC player. Literally, first game, Georgia played what? Three All-American type players on Clemson. Then Kentucky had what? 2? They got a future first-round cornerback, a second-round cornerback, Jamon Dumas-Johnson, Deion Walker, future first-rounder. That's 3 high-ranked caliber players. Then what? Texas is loaded on defense. You know what I'm saying? Texas loaded on defense. Alabama, they still have some star players on defense. You know what I'm saying? Malachi Moore, he's a future top 50 pick. I mean, Tennessee, they got a few top 50 picks and a future first round pick. You know what I'm saying? As an edge player, James Pierce Jr., Ole Miss, they got like 2 first round picks on defense. And Princely and Walter Nolan. So Georgia's seen everything Notre Dame have to offer. Everything Notre Dame has to offer, Georgia already seen it. But Notre Dame hasn't really seen nothing but the crowd. I mean, playing at Texas A&M. I mean, yes, okay, the crowd. Playing in a hostile environment. But Texas A&M not Georgia. Like, nobody in the SEC view Texas A&M as a top team. So, when I tell you that Georgia finna have their way with Notre Dame, like, and Notre Dame could very well win this game. It's gonna take a lot. Georgia will have to beat themselves by continue to drop the ball, continue to fumble in the ball, miss tackles, and blow coverages, and miss field goals. Like, it would take a lot. You know what I'm saying? Miss 2 or 3 field goals, makeable field goals, a block punt by Notre Dame, a good punt return or a kick return by Notre Dame. Gun starter can't hit the side of a ball. And when he do throw a good pass, Georgia receivers drop it. The running backs fumble the ball. The O-line, get dominant. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of factors in this game. But Notre Dame ain't been tested yet. Like I said, like, it's levels to this game. Like, when Tennessee went on the road to Ohio State, I said Ohio State finna have their way with Tennessee. Because why? I knew Tennessee isn't an elite team in general, but at home, they is an elite team when they good. Like, going on the road to Knoxville, Tennessee would have probably beat Ohio State by double digits. But them going on the road, I know Tennessee is not a very good team on the road. Like, they struggle on the road. And I knew Ohio State finna do that. And Notre Dame, very good team. But when you got Georgia, you get Kirby Smart 3.5 weeks to prepare for one game. I don't know what the next game may be versus Penn State or Boise State. But this one game where you got 3.5 weeks to focus on Riley Leonard and no running backs, I'm telling y'all. But let me go and get to the score. It's gonna be a 20-minute video. But give me Georgia 23-13 over Notre Dame. I just think Georgia start off, this game gonna be like 10-3 at halftime. Then, Notre Dame gonna get the ball back or something, make it 10-6. Georgia gonna make it 13-6. Notre Dame might tie the game up 13-13. And then Georgia just stop all that. They go up 23-13. You know what I'm saying? And Notre Dame can't do nothing else in the fourth quarter. But, let me know what y'all think. If you're a Notre Dame fan, Georgia fan, check in with me. And always, go Dogs, man. Go Dogs.